Alright guys, I'm back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, and starting with Naruto chapter 614 to You. I really like this chapter because the Hyuga clan got a lot of panel time here, and I kind of felt like they were one of the groups that Kishimoto left behind after the time skip, along with Shino, Rock Lee, Kiba. These guys never really got to do anything after the time skip, after the Chunin exams and the Sound 4 fights. They kind of just turned into background characters. So it was nice to see the Hyuga clan used in this chapter, but Neji really just came back to die. I mean, that was pretty much it. So Madara is having trouble controlling the Jubi because he's a corpse, and Obito says that he's at his mercy. He needs Obito because he's alive. And Obito says, I never considered you an ally. So Madara kind of just has to go along with what Obito wants to do for right now. I'm sure he's planning something. And Obito has the Jubi shoot these wooden stakes at the shinobi. Naruto, the Hyuga clan, one of the Earth Jutsu users, tries to deflect these things, but still a ton of shinobi get impaled by them. And the Jubi decides to focus its attack on Naruto, and Neji sacrifices himself to save Hinata and Naruto. He gets impaled by the wooden stakes, and he dies. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, we got a nice little flashback of Neji talking to Naruto during the Chunin exams, and I mean, I was a big fan of Neji. I know myself and a lot of other fans enjoyed these characters, even though Kishimoto kind of stopped using them. But I wouldn't even say he's a main character anymore. It's not really like the death of a main character because he hasn't done anything in so long. So it was just kind of disappointing. And Sakura was actually in this chapter. For one tiny panel, she's just getting pushed aside by trying to dodge one of the wooden stakes, but yeah, that was pretty much the chapter. I still enjoyed it. There was a lot of action. And another thing is, when are we going to find out why Kakashi killed Rin? That's something else that we haven't had answered yet. So overall, it was a pretty good chapter this week. And I guess a main character died. Bleach chapter 521, a piggy party. Ichigo, Renji, and Kan go to the next palace, which belongs to Kiryu Hikifune, I believe is what I wrote here. And I guess Kan tagged along with Ichigo. I don't even remember that happening, but Kan's with them now too. And she makes them food, which pumps up their Ryetsu. And at the same time, it makes her skinny. So that was kind of funny. And she says that each member of the Royal Guard created something in Soul Society. And she created the artificial soul. And the next palace they're going to is a dangerous one. And it's the Phoenix Palace of Namaya Oetsu, who created the Zanpakuto. Now I'm really looking forward to what Kubo does with this guy, because as of right now, of all the Royal Guard members, he's had the least amount of panel time. But I do think he's got a cool character design. So I'm looking forward to that palace next. And that was this week's chapter of Bleach. Not a lot of action going on here, but I'm still entertained by this because we've been waiting so long to see these Royal Guard members. And even though there's not a lot of action, it's still a nice way to have Ichigo get pumped back up and at the same time show us the personalities of these different members. So I have been entertained by this. On to One Piece chapter 693, Die For Me. So Frankie attacks Buffalo and Baby 5. And Baby 5 turns into a giant sword. A human sword. And it looked kind of goofy, but it's One Piece, and it's still a unique power. I actually thought her Devil Fruit was she could bring weapons out of her body. And that's where the giant cannon came from and all the guns. But apparently she can just turn into weapons. So Buffalo grabs her, and he starts rotating with her, and they deflect one of Frankie's attacks. And then she turns into a missile, and Buffalo launches her at the tanker, and it just explodes. And then we see Caesar, who thinks he's going to die. He pulls out Smoker's heart. He still has it. And he says, if I'm going to die, I can at least do this. And he starts to squeeze the heart. So this is... Oda kind of shows us something major here, and then he cuts away to something else. And it happens again later, but it was still an interesting fight. I think Frankie's going to be fine. It'll probably destroy the general Frankie suit, but I think Frankie's going to be okay inside of it. On to the Straw Hats G5. The kids, they all meet back up, and Usopp and Caesar's men meet back up with them. and they're going to try and escape Punk Hazard, and Momonosuke sees Kinemon, his dad, and he's frozen by the poisonous gas. This is another time Oda cuts away. We don't really see any more with this, but Momonosuke does find his father here, so that was pretty interesting. But yeah, the Straw Hats and everybody, they're on their way out. They're going to try and escape. And then we see Monet, who calls Joker. And he tells her to flip the switch on another weapon that's just like the one that destroyed Punk Hazard a few years ago. And he wants her to just blow up the island, kill the Straw Hats, kill everyone there. And she agrees to this. She's going to sacrifice herself to do what Joker wants and eliminate the rookies. And that's how the chapter ended. So what I think is going to happen is I think Monet's going to flip the switch. Straw Hats, G5, Law, all of them have to escape Punk Hazard. Buffalo and Baby 5 are going to take Caesar and leave. And that's pretty much it. Law's going to get pissed off because he can't go get Caesar, and Luffy screwed up the plan, so he's going to be mad at Luffy over this. And this whole entire Punk Hazard arc is going to send a huge ripple throughout the New World. But I'm not really sure where they're going to go after this. But all I know is she's going to flip this switch, Punk Hazard's going to be destroyed, and they didn't get Caesar. So now Don Quixote's after him, Big Mom's after him, and it's going to be awesome. But yeah, as far as Punk Hazard, I think we're getting really close to the end of this arc, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I mean, where they're going to go. This has been a really great arc so far, in my opinion. Just the whole, it started off with a lot of mystery, and then it turned into something huge with Don Quixote and finding out that one of the 4 emperors has a crew made of devil fruit users, and just all types of crazy stuff happened in this entire arc. So that's my review of this week's manga chapters. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments, and thanks for watching.